Welcome to Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone. We're live inside Muscatine HyVee on 2nd Avenue in Muscatine, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Now, here's Tony Tone.
Hey friends, welcome to the Hy-Vee Today show. This is Tony Tone. It's Friday, the 17th of April. It's so good to be with you inside the Market Grill Express. It's weird to have another day where you're waking up with snow. So it's not, I think the thing that happened yesterday was the local meteorologist, and nobody was trying to, Lord knows we don't need any more fear, right? So they were just like, hey, it's going to snow Thursday night. Here's what we think. And then you wake up, and I did this at least. I looked out, and I was like, oh, that's it. Like my street wasn't covered. My sidewalk wasn't covered. My car was because it was in the driveway. And it's a heavy snow, so I had to grab a broom to wipe it off because my windshield wipers couldn't power through it. But that's it. Like I cruised down Highway 61 to get here. No problems there. Parking lot here at the store is clear. It's just the spots with, like the little islands with mulch that you can see snow. And maybe some of the trees. After and like Prince says, sometimes it snows in April. Yep. There's Prince. Rest in peace. That's how I pose for all my pictures. Died soon after a long civil war. Right? That's it. It's just it's marvelous, right? If you haven't heard that song, you should check it out, and just remember to pose like this for all your pictures. Prince, are you ready for that picture? Yes. Okay, let's do it. Like, what is that? What is going on? By the way, I'm learning how pale I am doing the show this week. I don't know if this light is brighter or something, but I look at myself in the monitor and I'm like, I need to get like some self-tanner. I don't know if that's a thing. Maybe I just do it like for my face, and then like I just have like super pale arms, but holy macaroni. I get why these TV people wear makeup. There's nothing going on here. This is all natural. Maybe a little moisturizer on the face just to kind of get rid of the dark circles under the eyes. All right, so yeah, you woke up to snow. Can we look out in the parking lot really quick just to show everybody? I mean, obviously you know this. It's going to be gone by tomorrow, I mean, if anything, it's supposed to be like 60 degrees on Saturday, and then we kind of trend up. So we'll get through today, and then we'll head into the weekend, and we'll make it a good weekend. And like I've been saying, if you're trying to get out of the house, go for a drive. My intent was to, because my wife does have to work tomorrow, I told you I was going to drive to the Field of Dreams with my mom and my kids. And I also told you when I called the Field of Dreams the other night, they said, this is Iowa and we're open. So the Field of Dreams is not closing. And I want to apologize. We were supposed to do the show yesterday, but got to work. Things were very busy for our online team, had to cancel. It's not my style to have to do that. So I want to apologize to Christy Roby Williams, Director of Public Health, and Lieutenant Greg Bach with the Salvation Army. Certainly we'll get them back on the show, so please know that. All right, our guest this morning is with the Muscatine County Sheriff's Office. Captain Quinn Reese is here. We have a lot to talk about, including some exciting things that he personally has going on, and we're doing our best to social distance. We did the elbow bump when I got here and I saw you. So I guess we can start with maybe like an overview of the department and your role. How long have you been a part of the Muscatine County Sheriff's Office? And then certainly I want to get into some of the, ways that the department, Quinn, has had to adapt with COVID-19. So let's start with your time spent with the department and what you're currently doing in your role as captain.
Okay. So I came to Muscatine County in 1999. Started out working in the courthouse bailiff.
Oh, nice. You would be a great bailiff on a Judge TV show.
I was
right?
waiting for a night court comment or.
Like you have a good personality, you're in good shape, and there's always like the judge that's like, I don't know about this, and the bailiff's like, I think you should throw the book at him.
That's exactly how it goes.
Is that what you were thinking the whole time?
That's exactly how it operates, though.
Yeah, maybe when you retire down the line, you can go back to that.
Sure.
All right, anyways, get back to the story. Sorry,
Okay.
I'll be quiet.
Are you done?
Yes.
Anything else? Okay. So did that for 8 months, ended up coming out to patrol. Worked midnights, afternoons for several years. Moved up through the ranks, corporal, sergeant. Started with a canine, ran a canine
Right.
for 10 years. Started that in 2001. He retired out in 2010, I believe. During that time, I think we've added it up between cash seizures and drug seizures, street value wise, almost $7 million worth of cash and narcotics.
Did it take a long time to get used to not having the canine partner?
It did.
Because you did it for so long. And I hope that people out there watching, again, I'm the son of a retired Chicago cop, been around cops, police officers, departments my whole life. But I don't really have a lot of firsthand experience with canine other than talking to folks like yourself and Zach Lane and other folks. But yeah, I imagine that had to be a big transition, right?
So Zach will tell you the same thing. Sergeant Bowers, his dog retired late last year. You get used to the whines and the barks that come out of the back seat and what those mean. One is specific to I need to get out and stretch my legs. The other one is, hey, I gotta go.
Right.
So after the dog's not in the car anymore, you still kind of hear those every once in a while, and so you find yourself stopping the car and getting out and open the back seat, and the dog's not there. So then you kind of look around to make sure nobody's watching you and wondering what you're doing, and drive away real fast.
It's such an incredible thing to have been able to do, but I also know your role as captain. I mean, there's a lot of responsibility there, right? I mean, that's a big deal.
In 2011, I was able to transition into the investigations division, where we work felony level cases, burglaries, robberies. Knock on wood, we don't have a ton of homicides, but those cases that are going to require more time to be put in. I'm still in the investigations division. I oversee that division now as a captain, where we do have general criminal investigators that work those type of cases. I also have detectives that work strictly drug cases.
Sure.
With that, we also run a dive team, water rescue team.
Yeah, I forgot about that, right.
So in 2001, I got involved in scuba diving through the department. So we do have those services as well. We have a number of divers on staff. We have a couple guys from the fire department. I'm trying to get a couple guys from the police department. If they're watching, I expect your application. But we do body recoveries, vehicle recoveries, evidence recoveries. We've been called really all over the state.
Sure.
Southern Iowa, we've done several in Scott County. I've been up to Floyd County, up on the Iowa-Minnesota border. In addition to that, we also have it's the Muscatine Special Operations Response Team.
Sure.
It's our version of a TAC team. Ours is a little unique, where we cover Cedar County, Muscatine County, and Louisa County. And we have deputies and officers from departments across those 3 jurisdictions. So we do answer calls across those 3 counties.
And that's what I was going to say. You know, there's been a lot of talk recently with everything that's been going on with respects to COVID-19 and different organizations working together well, obviously like Salvation Army, United Way, Muscatine, MCSA. I imagine the same has to be going on with respects to the Muscatine County Sheriff's Office, MPD, Muscatine Fire. But yeah, let's talk about that. So that definitely has been, I mean, it was just a couple of years ago, Quinn, when we were worried about, you know, people dressed in all black stepping out of the corn along Highway 22 or whatever. Remember that? We got on national news for that. And now, of course, this COVID-19 thing has been going on, you know, really for about 35, 40 days. So how have you, what have you noted as far as like community response? What has the department had to do? I mean, have you had to change the way that things operate? I mean, it seems like Sheriff Ryan alluded to maybe not as much foot traffic into the building if you're coming in the front door. If you're going in the other door, you're going into the jail maybe. But how have things changed over the last 35, 40 days?
As far as from the community, the support that we've gotten from the community has been amazing. I've got my face mask that was the sheriff's wife made.
That's awesome.
I carry that in my pocket. Our neighbor, Sheila Erickson, made a bunch. I've got another half a dozen of those at home. We've gotten hand sanitizer donations and other surgical mask donations. And, and so the outreach has been amazing. Working relationships, we've always worked well with surrounding departments. So that hasn't changed.
Good.
With the COVID issue that we're dealing with now, that has certainly affected the way that we're doing business.
Sure.
We've tried to really limit the contacts that we've had. So in addition to that, with the court system being shut down as well, the people that are coming in and out of the jail environment have been limited.
Yeah, I was going to say the court system's still shut down, but that doesn't mean that we talk about investigative unit. There's probably still open investigations that are going on. It's not like we've shut down policing or anything like that, right? It's some parts.
Yeah, we didn't take the phone off the hook.
Right,
it's not forwarded everything to an answering machine.
I think it's important to note that, yes, court systems put on hold, but and that's something that cannot be permanent, right? We have to get back to business as usual as long as things are safe. But yeah, and the social distancing, obviously a big part of that. And the Muscatine County Sheriff's Office has always done such a great job getting in front of people, so much community involvement. And it's tough to do that now, but at the same time you want people to know that you're here for them, and it's you're here when they need you, right? And I think that's something that you can still do. Obviously social media, a big part of that. We got the Facebook page pulled up. But even sometimes it's just, when you're out on patrol or driving around and somebody gives you a wave or donates face masks or something like that. So I hope that will stay. That support, as you alluded to, has to make you feel good,
It really does. We're not, we've changed our way of doing business a little bit, but we are still out there. The uniform guys are still out running around. We are still working investigations. This has actually given us a little bit of a pause to pull out some of those files that we kind of hit dead ends on over the years, and take another look at those. We've purged old paperwork files, old evidence stuff. So we're kind of doing that spring cleaning.
It's a good feeling, isn't it? You adapt to these circumstances, and then you find things that you're like, wow, I didn't know. I can't even imagine the amount of backlog stuff that you're able to just free up. And has crime been? That's a weird thing to ask, but have we seen a dip in incidents during the last month? I don't know if you can answer that or. Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
I don't want to.
The mobile patrol app has been a lot more quiet.
It's been quieter,
with the
yeah.
mug shots, right? So I'll just say that. And of course, people are encouraged to stay home if you can. You're an essential worker. Obviously, you've been an essential worker for a long time. I find myself an essential worker here with Hy-Vee. It is unique for sure. But then at the same time, like something that Captain Reese running for sheriff, I should note that. So looking for your support to be the next sheriff for Muscatine, to fundraisers for individuals. So that's got to be tough because you genuinely like doing that, right? You like getting out and seeing people.
I really do.
Yeah.
This is kind of it's going to be an odd year. It's going to be an odd election year.
Sure.
I would foresee that the majority of this election's done absentee ballot wise.
Sure.
It really has limited not only things that we're able to do through the campaign, but things that do. The Special Olympics program is something that's near and dear to my heart. Something that I've been involved with since I started here in the late 90s. We're coming up here in a couple weeks. We're supposed to have our torch run.
I was going to say, right, not too far away.
There's things that I want to do differently. And he complimented me on that and said, it's your administration. You got to make it your own.
Sure.
So really looking forward to that. What sets me apart, I think, I've worked through almost every part of the sheriff's office.
Sure.
I've been there, I've done it. I've gotten to the point that I'm at because I consider myself to be good at what I do. I've worked closely with this administration as far as budgeting goes, and these different that we do have between TAC teams and the water dive teams and things like that. So I'm really looking forward to it.
A lot until I worked with CJ for his last campaign when I was at the radio station. He did some advertising, and I've known Sheriff Ryan for a while. I've been here almost 8 years. I feel like I've known the sheriff the whole time, and he just told me how much fiscal responsibility, and I had no idea, Quinn County, and it's one of those things that makes a difference. And I can't remember, I feel like CJ said at one point it was like $2.5 million. Am I barking up the right tree? And I don't want to get into the weeds on numbers, but I just hope people understand that yes, it is about running a department as the role of sheriff, but there's also this other side where you have to be fiscally responsible, right? So
the sheriff's office, people think sheriff's office, people think the cars that say sheriff on the side of them running up and down the highway. That's a huge part, but some people may not realize that we have right around 100 employees.
Wow.
That work for the sheriff's office, between patrol division and then the correctional officer staff downtown.
Sure.
We have the 7th largest county jail in the state of Iowa. Typically, we house in the neighborhood of 250 to 255 inmates. We do house for several outside entities, the U.S. Marshals, Johnson County, Scott County.
Sure.
We were housing for Clinton County while their new facility was being built. So there's a lot going on.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's a lot more to the job. And certainly as someone that's been there for as long as you have and worked up the ranks, and that's always a great story, right? I mean, you're not somebody that's only been in town for a couple years. You've been there, you've put in the work, and I think that's a good story, right? I mean,
sure.
One random day a couple weeks ago, I was in the bakery and somebody called me. It's kind of before all this broke loose. Somebody called me from L&M, a teacher, and I just got the phone call in the bakery, and she's like, "How'd you get into radio?" And I was like, "Oh." So I just gave her like the quick spiel, and it was like I had an internship and it was unpaid in 2004 downtown Chicago, and it's just like you have to, a lot of it is right place, right time, but if you're not ready and you haven't put the time in, I mean, and all that experience is so important, and that's why, yeah, I mean, I bet it was a long thought out decision, but I totally get why you're running. So you've alluded to this as well. You mentioned talking to Sheriff Ryan about it yesterday. Can you give us any examples of what you would change about the department? Is that the right word, or is it just different philosophies? I mean, you talked about it with CJ yesterday, and I don't want to, give too much away, because people got to get out and vote first, whether it's at the polls or absentee. But what have you identified, Quinn, that you would like to see happen? Can you give us a couple examples?
So, one of my philosophies is communication from top to bottom, bottom to top.
Sure.
I think we do a fair amount. We can always improve on that.
Sure.
Anything can be improved on. Any new ideas can be tried. If they don't work, we'll try something else. So communication is a huge thing for me. We've had some of the patrol staff suggest different scheduling.
Okay.
In past years. Right now we work a 5-8 schedule.
Okay.
8-hour shifts, 5 on, 2 off. I would like to, the guys have talked about maybe a 10 or 12-hour shift, which would allot some additional days off in there. I think that's worth trying.
Sure.
I think we put it in place for an amount of time. If it works, great. If it doesn't, we try something else.
I like that approach as far as not being afraid to try and to change something. And then if you, like you said, if it doesn't work, okay, but at least you can say that you took feedback from someone in the department and took it seriously enough to implement a change, because that's great. I mean, that keeps people, coming to work happy if they know, hey, if I got something I can vocalize, that it'll be heard, and then wow, there's that action.
And if it doesn't work, what do we out?
Right.
Let's try something different. If we can adapt a schedule that another agency uses, that would fit our needs, then why not?
Yeah, no, I think that's, and the communication part for sure. I mean, now more than ever, I mean, we've been doing this show, there's been up to 60 people watching live at once. Folks are starved for content, and social media has never been
They miss you.
Bigger. They don't miss me. No. I mean, I listen, I appreciate that. But I think it's just, we can be overwhelmed by information, but boy, when something's going on and it needs to be communicated, and that can also be tough, because as a department, your first job or priority is, going to whatever the situation is, addressing it. And then it's weird to almost have to stop and go, okay, how are we going to relay this info? And it's not to say that folks in law enforcement aren't the best communicators. That's not what I mean. But when you're getting that 911 call or whatever and you're responding, it's tough to then have to go, oh, I guess I got to put together a press release. Or, oh, I guess I should post this on Facebook. But I mean, that's just something, that's where you almost need like someone in PR to step up and say, here's what we're going to put out there. But yeah, there's people want to know, but you also have to protect how much information is put out, of course. I mean, we're experiencing that now when folks are learning, each day of new positive cases for COVID-19 in Muscatine. You'll often see questions like, who is it? Where do they work? And like, that's a HIPAA violation.
And we get those same questions, and when we don't know.
Right. Yeah. And that's the thing. And I don't think we should. Right. No. I mean, it's bad enough for somebody to have to going through that. But yeah, I think that is important to note as far as the communication. So we're sitting here April 17th. What's next as far as that process for the election for you? Primary is when?
Primary is early June.
Early June. Okay.
I think next week the Secretary of State will be sending out absentee ballot applications to everyone in the state.
Sure.
So those will be coming out. I would anticipate this election being a lot of absentee. Sure. Especially with the gathering sizes and whatnot. So those will be coming out. We do have some other media stuff coming out today. Okay. Should be hitting mailboxes today. Okay. So it's full steam ahead.
I was gonna say, right, and then it's election in November. Yep. And the thing for me is I've never voted absentee or by mail, whatever. I like going. I like the process, right? We used to vote at Mulford Church, and they're just super nice. And now we're at the school board office, and that was the first time with school board elections experiencing that, and I appreciate the efforts of people. But I've never missed an election, I'm proud to say. I've voted ever since I've been 18. So if I have to vote that way this year, that's fine. You know, I mean, it's whatever it takes, because I feel like you turn 18, like, yeah, you should vote. You have an option to do it, and if you don't vote, then you can't complain. And I've said that for years, right? It's a big deal to me. I think people take it for granted, and they shouldn't, regardless of, whether it's a national election or for local politics, school board, sheriff's office races, they all matter.
Yep.
It
all starts on the local level.
Yep.
What is going to have, impact on our day to day typically starts at the local level.
Sure.
And then moves up to the state level and so on and so forth. So, yeah, those will be coming out. There's really no excuse not to vote now.
Right.
Because you can fill it out and drop it back in the mail. And
awesome.
Get it sent to you and fill it out and drop it back in the mail.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to leave your house.
It's pretty slick. Is there anything else you want to mention before we wrap?
It is National Telecommunicators Week.
Yes, thank you for reminding me. Of course. Sure.
So a big applause to Muscatine downtown. They work in a room with no windows. Nobody comes and sees them.
It's a tough job. I can't even imagine.
So I promise I'll bring donuts down once I leave here.
Awesome.
Those will be, hopefully there's some back there. Hopefully those haven't been pilfered with the toilet paper.
How important is that role, though? Because I don't know if you know this, but I accidentally pocket dialed 911 last week when I was backing out of my driveway because I was trying to turn the volume down on my phone through my pocket, and then I long pressed the power button, and then all of a sudden it was like 911, and I was like, oh gosh. So I hung up quick, and then they called back, and they were like, are you okay? And I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I've called 911 maybe 4, 5, 6 times in my life. All of those other times were like, something's going on. And then last week, yeah. A friend of mine's wife's been a 911 dispatcher in Rock Island for 12 years, and her stories, I just can't even imagine. Because they're getting, the phone does not ring.
It all starts there.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't get our information unless they get their information first.
Sure.
And it really does all start in the basement.
I can't even imagine. So shout out, Muscom, you do a fantastic job. And that is such a vital role for everybody.
I couldn't do it.
No, there's no way. I mean, I honestly looked at it years ago when I was maybe thinking about getting out of radio in the Quad Cities, and I just was kind of thinking, like, I don't know if there's so many things you have to learn, and then it's just the phone doesn't stop ringing. It's kind of like when you go from 50 online orders a day to 300. You just feel like you're running as fast as you can, and the treadmill just keeps getting quicker. Well, I appreciate you being here and everything that you've done since. I mean, since '99 you've been here. Wow.
Started in Marengo in 1996. Came here in 1999.
That is fantastic.
24 years.
So again, please pay attention, as we learn more about how this election will shape up. Captain Quinn Reese, very active on social media. Quinn Reese for Sheriff. You can learn everything you need to about him. And then, I just hope we get past all of this and nobody lose sight of, because the last thing I want to do is a year or two from now go like, oh man, that 2020, you know what I mean? Like, let's all keep in mind that we got through this, and I think everybody's doing a good enough job of listening to what information's coming out of the Iowa Department of Public Health, and we want to get back to being able to have an event here at Hy-Vee where you close half the parking lot and you get the sheriff's office here with some vehicles and K9 and get the public together.
Yep.
I can't believe that we're not going to be able to do that stuff right now. It's driving me crazy.
And I mean, it's looking out several months. I mean, the parades, the fair.
Right.
My kids are working their animals.
Sure.
We have a bucket calf. My oldest daughter just had triplets out of her goat.
Wow.
So it's they were prepared for the fair, and not that the fair has been canceled yet. So
I hope not. The fair is so much fun. Is that why your grass always, Quinn's my neighbor, is that why your grass always looks so good? You got all these goats? That's the secret?
It is. Absolutely.
Man, that's not fair.
I will bring one up and
we
stake
do
them out
not
in
need
our
a
yard.
goat at our house. I think I've got a bunny nest in my backyard. We've had the little baby bunny.
The goat will scare them away. So if you hear something, say 4:30 tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Okay.
Just
He
let
does
it go.
not have goats in the neighborhood. By the way, on a scale of yes to definitely yes, neighborhood improved since we moved in. And that scale again, the scale again is yes to definitely yes. Since we've been there almost a year, what would you say? You have to go. Are you getting a 911 call?
Are we out of time?
Right now? No, we're not out of time.
Distinct improvement.
Yeah.
I mean, marked improvement.
It's a really good neighborhood.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yep.
I love that crew. It's a good crew. I wish we could get rid of the snow, because the thing I like about our neighborhood, no, by the way, social distance driveway conversations are fine, is that happens a lot. Mm-hmm. A couple months ago, there was like a driveway movie, Sweet 16. Mm-hmm. It was awesome. It's like one of those neighborhoods like where I told my wife, I'm like, we're never moving. Mm-hmm. Even if we win the lottery, like I'll just add something onto the house, because it's just
very,
nice.
very, very close-knit neighborhood.
Yeah.
We do a lot of things together in the neighborhood. Movie night.
Yeah, super cool.
A couple years ago, we watched, everybody was in the pool, and we watched Jaws.
Yes. Jaws.
So.
Oh, so that's fantastic.
Never a dull moment.
I was going to say, that's excellent. Well, thanks for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Everything that you guys do, obviously, I mean, it goes without being said. It's a big deal, and I know that firsthand, and I just hope the people watching understand, whether it's, you know, moments like coming out to see a guy living in a giant kettle with the Salvation Army to being there in the most, you know, trying and difficult times.
How did that end out? The PD was that second place?
I think Jeez Louise. Yeah, they got second place. All right, you said it. And I want to mention, because we saw a picture from Sunnybrook, Megan Francis says, we miss you at Sunnybrook. Always a great support. The whole department has been. Thanks for everything. Josie Wall, who's at CBI and Salvation Army, big thanks from the Salvation Army for all your support. So, yeah, I mean, all those organizations, big deal.
To let Megan know, I have been practicing my Wii bowling. So
nice.
Next time, this is not going to end well for you guys.
Excellent. I like that. Megan had sent me a text yesterday wondering if I did this a couple weeks ago, FaceTimed with Dick Vetter, right, and walked around the store. And Megan, if you're watching, my intent is, because I didn't text her back because yesterday was a day. It was a day. My intent is to do that today, Megan, so I hope to be able to do that for you. Thank you for being here. Have a good rest of your day. Good luck with the campaign and everything. And yeah, folks at home, remember, if you have the opportunity to vote, I hope you do that. All right, let's go. CBI Bank and Trust Aisle Cam. Looking outside, and it's still precipitating, and we've got birds, everybody. We have been waiting to catch birds in this CBI Bank and Trust Aisle Cam forever. And we got birds out there. Look at that. They're just hanging out. Chad, can you drop the email off the screen? Because I think they're right there. Yeah, look at that. They're hanging. We've been trying to catch these birds. They're always out there. They're not camera shy per se, but look at how happy they are. They got it made. Now, they probably don't like the snow, right? But those birds got it made. All right, that's very good. That's a live look outside in the parking lot. Snow will be done soon. And listen, it's going to be melted by tomorrow, so please don't be discouraged. The roads are in great shape, both Highway 61 and city roads. That was my commute, Mulberry to 61 to here to the store. So everybody's looking good, and we're ready to take care of you. And, of course, the store open for business and ready to go, and that's great. So we're going to have our friend Chris Anderson pop on in just a minute. I'm going to mention a couple of things. We'll give Chris a minute to get over here. Today's National Cheese Ball Day. I've been called worse. And this is awesome. So this is a Bella Giosso fresh mozzarella, America's favorite cheese ball. So now I know what you're thinking. Cheese balls could be like a plastic container full of cheese balls, but this is the real deal if you want to get real cheesy. Shout out to Sheriff CJ Ryan, just joining the live stream. Little late, Sheriff Ryan. You'll have to rewind it to hear all the compliments I gave you, which is how I get my get out of jail free card. I'm kidding. I don't have that. Cheese Ball Day. So that's today, April 17th. It is Ellis Island Family History Day. It is Haiku Poetry Day. Clean out your medicine cabinet day. So if you need to do that, please do. And it is Crawfish Day. And of course, because he's seated to my right, Chris Anderson, local artist and a fantastic contributor to this show. I mean, who else is going to go get crawfish? And it's one thing to get crawfish, but then to put it on ice so it can go back, because this is going to go into the seafood case. I don't want to touch any of the crawfish because I don't have gloves, and even if I had gloves, I probably wouldn't want to touch them because it's not really my thing. But Brad, you could probably, these cameras are so good. Look at that. Got some crawfish. Pinch the tail, suck the head. I don't want to do that. I'm out on that. I can tell you, yeah. Gumbo Yaya, District of Rock Island, 2007 or 8, MC'd a crawfish eating contest right outside the daiquiri factory in Ribco when I was at B100, and people ate a lot of these, and that kind of just did it for me. It was just, I've never done an eating competition. I don't think I want to. These smell spicy. So there you go, crawfish day. That's great. By the way, not the, like, they smell good, but also smells real fishy or crawfishy. All right, Chris Anderson is your local artiste. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
So this is exciting. So Chris, been a part of the show for a while now, has done cool things for us. Like, we were doing like sketches. You were doing sketches of Hy-Vee employees with like pencil. You gave me this amazing pearl button with the Muscatine, the Norbert F. Becky Bridge, and it said Tony Tone on it. And then, okay, so this is, tell me about this, because this is rad.
Well, this is a sunny day.
Okay.
And I thought that we'd make prints and kind of just hand out a sunny day to people, because it's a positive way to spread art. And, you know, in this kind of a time, it's kind of a, I thought it would be a great time to just kind of just spread joy and happiness with art.
This is, okay, look at how good that looks. So can you, I mean, obviously we can see the courthouse in there, we can see the Clam Man.
I'd like to talk a little bit about it. This is artwork that is, I replicated Vincent van Gogh, A Starry Night.
Right.
And a couple facts about Van Gogh is, well, a lot of people have heard about him, but just so if they don't know, during this time when he painted this, he had checked himself into St. Paul Asylum, and he painted what he saw from his window. And I sent Chad a picture of the original Starry Night.
Awesome.
If you were to compare this picture with the original Starry Night, you'll notice that the colors are completely different, but the composition is almost exactly the same.
Sure.
So when you see this picture, you kind of feel like you've seen it already, and you like it because you've already seen A Starry Night. And so this is just a sunny day in Muscatine.
And there's the original one right there, the inspiration. And you're right, you know, that we had one of those in our old house, kind of going upstairs. My wife had it for years in a little frame, and there you go, look at that side by side. That is super cool.
Yeah.
So obviously what I'm holding is a print. What did you use for the original paint? Is it?
Yep, this is a acrylic on canvas print. Also, I just want to mention the first person to message a sunny day gets a free print.
So if you're watching live right now and you comment a sunny day, Chris Anderson will give you a print of this.
Yep.
Okay, so please, if you're watching on Facebook and you leave a comment, a sunny day, you'll hook them up. How long does something like this take? Because you know that I have no artistic abilities other than talking. That's about all I can do. But this, I can appreciate how awesome this is.
It is truly. I spent quite a bit of time just trying to research Van Gogh and try to figure out where he was in his life when this painting was created.
Sure.
And believe it or not, almost all of Van Gogh's art was produced in the last 2 years of his life.
I did not know that.
You know, and he was completely unsuccessful while he was alive.
Sure.
He killed himself at age 37, and it's unfortunate that a lot of his art, he never got to see anyone appreciate his art.
Right.
So, you know, I'm feeling like the highest form of flattery is imitation.
Sure.
So might as well try to see if we can't get more people to see his art.
So Chris has done things like this incredible sunny day in Muscatine, sunny day, and then, you know, like I mentioned, the Hy-Vee pencil sketches are super cool. The sides of buildings in downtown Muscatine literally painted by hand. I don't know how you do that because these building murals are massive. You have that incredible piece at the Muskie Early Learning Center, the former Colorado school. You've done like works of art, and we've kind of talked about some of that. So what I guess what would you like to do next? Is it more of getting prints available for folks, or is it?
I feel like everybody should have a sunny day.
Yeah.
And you know,
we need it now more than ever, right?
And I really I'd like to talk about maybe if there's a way that we can donate the money to charity or something. You know, I'm not really into it for. I would just want more people to see it and have it and enjoy it. You know.
Well, your spirit is fantastic, and your story is great, and what you can produce is awesome. And I don't know, maybe the model is like Zoom art classes where you could do online tutorials. And there's those buttons. Man, those buttons are so awesome. I mean, again, even as someone that cannot make things like that, I appreciate that so much. And again, if you're watching and you comment a sunny day, Chris is going to give you one of these prints. So yeah, I'm always interested to see what you want to do next, because you've done a variety of things, including pieces in folks' home. So maybe you've just got a blank canvas in your house and you're like, Chris, can you come over and bring it to life?
Absolutely.
That'd be awesome.
Real quick, I just wanted to also give Bob a shout out at the Iowa Record Printing Company.
Okay.
He's the one that got these prints made for me.
Shout out to Iowa. Yeah, this is awesome. I just like how this looks, and you have it framed right here. So this is
the one that whoever writes in.
You're giving them that one?
Yes, they are really getting this one. And,
wow, that's awesome.
I trimmed it a little bit. There's a little bit missing, but it fits well, and I feel like it looks nice.
When was the last time you won something from watching this show? It doesn't happen that often. So comment a sunny day, and this is yours in the frame. That is so great. Chris, we weren't even going to do this, but you were talking about it when we were going to start the show, and I'm like, come sit down, because this is great. And you're right, we need a sunny day now more than ever, man. Wow, this is great. So, and then a little bit big, is this the original?
These are all prints. The original is 30 by 40 inches.
Oh
it's
my
quite
gosh.
big.
Look at that, though. And yeah, this is just absolutely fantastic. Well, I appreciate what you've been able to do, and the fact that you're just going to keep creating art and putting good out into the world. And again, if you're watching, what's the Facebook page for you again?
Chris Anderson, yeah.
Chris Anderson Artist. There it is right there. Chris Anderson Artist on Facebook. And yeah, so there you go. It is Beatrice Storm Dayton commented sunny day. So Beatrice, that is yours. So I'll let Chris handle reaching out to Beatrice.
I'll make sure I sign it for you.
There you go. That's fantastic. Wow, good for you, Beatrice. You just got that. All right, excellent. Chris Anderson, thanks, man.
Thank you.
This is great. I'm telling you. I mean, I feel like I have seen this, but wow, it's good. Yeah, and a little bit of flooding going on down. And I'm glad that you don't have that depicted, because we know that it is flooding down there. We don't need to be reminded.
I like that middle portion where it kind of looks, if you look, it kind of seems like you can see across the river, even though it's not.
I totally
really there.
And I feel like there's a face right there.
Yeah, and if you look closely at the Starry Night, Van Gogh's, I believe there is a face right there.
I think that's a face right there. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, yeah. On the original, though, I feel,
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm with you.
Once you see it, you can't kind of unsee it, so, I feel like
however
there's
you
a face
interpret it, right?
Yep.
Open to interpretation. Well, here's what I know. This is great. And that's fantastic. And our friend Cheyenne says, hey, Chris, that's one of my favorite paintings of yours. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's fantastic. Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
That is absolutely great. All right. I'm going to mention a couple of things, and then I got to get out of here because I have to go back to helping with online orders, because I'm assuming Steve Graham's going to yell at me for being in here so long. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do for the rest of the day. So here's what I'll tell you. You still have time to grab that Discover Muscatine newspaper, flip it over, and cut that coupon out of it, okay? If you're watching, listen, if you don't have the Discover Muscatine newspaper, come to the store, grab the paper. You don't even have to get out of your car. If you just want the coupon, you call me, I'll bring it out to you. You got to have the physical coupon, 25 cents off a gallon. I need gas. If I'm planning on taking any type of car trip just to get out of the house this weekend, that's something that I'm going to take advantage of, right? I think I've got 13, I can't remember if I have 13 or 18 cents on my fuel saver already. This 25 cents off a gallon, no strings attached, just have to have that paper coupon, turn it in at Hy-Vee gas, and we're going to save you that instantly. So I don't know, we still at $1.44 out there, Brad? Is that what it looks like? I always mean to check. I drive right past the gas. I'm assuming we're around $1.44. So take 25 cents off a gallon, grab that Discover Muscatine newspaper, and get ready to save. There you go, $1.44. Little bit of snow on the trees out there. Who would have thought? April 16th. I mean, it's Iowa, so nothing surprises us about the weather. And maybe, this will delay those super hot and humid days, and we'll get to enjoy a little bit of a spring. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice? All right. So that's very good. Get that coupon and come see us. We're going to get you all taken care of. If you don't want to worry about coming into the store to order your favorite Hy-Vee meals to go, you can go to Hy-Vee.com/mealtime. That's an easy way to do that. Right from your phone, even, you can order your favorite, like a tenderloin or Hy-Vee Chinese or whatever the case may be, and we'll bring it out to you. We're working with DoorDash to get things delivered. So that's Hy-Vee.com/mealtime. If you are looking for good things to grub on, I encourage you to do just that. And I would mention, the garden center going up, but there's a little bit of snow on the ground. However, if you still, once this melts by tomorrow, if you're looking to get that green thumb flexing, I encourage you to go out, and we've got mulch and topsoil and some perennials, and we're keeping everything protected that needs to be. And then the garden center will be full steam ahead as the weather starts to right itself. And I think that is going to happen certainly within the next week or so. If you've looked at an extended forecast, you know that that's going on. All right, so listen, here's the weekend. The plans, don't worry about the snow. It'll be gone, right? I mean, I'm not a meteorologist, but this is it. I'm not worried. Tomorrow, Saturday, sunny, 57. What about Sunday? Partly sunny, 57. Okay, boom. And it's all going to be good, y'all, right? And then Monday, what do we got? Sunny, 63, 65 on Tuesday. All right, so this is it, the last hurrah for the snow. I hope. I don't know, but we can sure hope that that's the case, right? Wait a minute. They commented first. I'm looking. I see a comment from Matthew and Tennille. Did I win since I commented first? The first comment I saw on here was from Beatrice Storm Dayton. If you guys like, Chris is saying if you like one, he will give you one of these prints. So that's awesome. And you should know, since those are the guys that own Poop Pals, that we've given you numerous shout outs, because I think that's an ingenious business. Like, maybe you still haven't done the old spring cleaning of the dog droppings in your backyard. Poop Pals, they can get you taken care of. All right, I want to thank our guests today, 2 guests, which is great. Fantastic to end the week on 2 guests. Captain Quinn Reese with the Muscatine County Sheriff's Office, running for sheriff, gave us an update on how that's going. Primaries coming up in June, voting from your home with the absentee ballots, and then talked about how things have had to be adjusted a little bit with the current COVID-19 situation. And our friend and local artist Chris Anderson was here with a sunny day in Muscatine. I absolutely love this. This is just great. And the mayor of Muscatine, Diana Broderson, said Chris is very talented, bringing much enjoyment to our city through his artwork. Yeah, and again, right, like there's no better time than now. And we will have sunny days. We will have more sunny days. I have to tell you, as an old man now of 36, I have tried to keep things into perspective my whole life. And I will tell you, when I was and again, every time I do this, I hope that they pay off my student loans. When I was at St. Ambrose, that's St. Ambrose Fighting Bee. When I was at St. Ambrose for 4.5 years, because yes, I am a doctor, freshman year, I skipped a class or 2. I'm not perfect, but I got Irish guilt like none other. It's either Irish guilt or it's it's Irish guilt. All right, I'm Irish, Italian, and Bohemian, right, which doesn't even exist anymore. It's Czechoslovakian. But anyways, it's Irish guilt. I would skip class, and then I would think about my parents that were paying for me to be at St. Ambrose. Again, my dad, a Chicago cop, retired, spent 20 years in literally the worst neighborhood in Chicago. Worst neighborhood, District 11, 11th District, Harrison and Kedzie, first car response. You get that 911 call, there's my dad. So that's like 15, 20 years there. So I would think about that, and then my mom did home daycare, and then I would think about this schmuck skipping class, and they were paying for me to be there. So I've always kept things into perspective. So when I mentioned yesterday having been a long day here, the thing that I always remind myself is that it's just one day, and I've been alive for more than one day. So please keep that in mind with this current situation that we're going through. We go through challenging things. Certainly this is unprecedented, but if you can do whatever you can to make this current situation shorter, that's what I'm trying to do. because I want it to be over. Of course, I want to be able to host bingo here in the Market Grill Express and have events with police and sheriff's office and just get back to quote-unquote business as usual. So keep things into perspective.
Meals to go from Hy-Vee is even easier with the new Hy-Vee Mealtime to Go website.
This is behind us a year, 2, 3 years later, that we don't lose sight of how we treated each other now and how we responded. And certainly you're seeing that with how various companies and organizations are taking care of people. Hy-Vee, by the way, doing a tremendous job. Shout out to this company. You know, last week with Easter, every day I have a 10% off discount because I work here. Last week they bumped that up to 20%. We're getting a 10% bonus from the corporate part of this company. They've never done that before. CEO Randy Edeker is doing a fantastic job. They've got face masks here as of Monday. It's optional for folks if they want them. We can get them taken care of. Folks are being safe. They're cleaning off every single grocery cart, right? And trying to do our best. Because again, we just want to get this over with. Nobody's excited that this is going on. Nobody's, right? I mean, we just want to get back to, like I said, business. Matt was supposed to be in Mexico this week. You think he's liking this? My boss? He's supposed to be in Mexico, right? He's here. I think he's had 1 day off in the last 35. So I'm just going to say that, and it's worth being noted that folks have been busting their tails here and everywhere else that is essential, right? If you find yourself in that essential category, good on you. And of course, I always want to think about those truck drivers that are literally bringing the supplies to this store. Every day those trucks are running, and they do a fantastic job. So thank you for watching this show. Thanks to CBI Bank and Trust, where they're still open for business, taking care of people. Bob Howard, watching the show, had talked to Bob about maybe coming on, but he had a meeting at 9. We'll get Bob on the show, of course. We love Bob. And CBI Bank and Trust, again, taking care of folks. Toyota Muscatine, still very much open for business. They can bring a car to you. Have you ever thought, I mean, come on. You want to talk about the ultimate 2020 move, buying a car on your phone and then they bring it to you? If you don't like people, what are you doing? This is for you. If you're an introvert, like, I don't want to go see Jimmy Greenhaw, make him bring you the car. Buy it. Make him bring it to you. Probably have those 7 dogs he's got in there, but I can't control that. But that's what they're doing. They're taking care of their people, and they're open. So support them. We want Toyota Muscatine to be there. And, of course, Lutheran Living Senior Campus. You know, definitely a challenging time for Lutheran Living Senior Campus with folks in their facility dealing with this COVID-19. But they're doing a great job. They're cleaning, they're disinfecting, and they're working their tails off, and they deserve to be recognized because that is an essential role, and all their employees are just great. And please, again, let's just keep supporting everybody that's doing a good job. You're making masks, you're donating, and whatever. Again, it's going to speak volumes about how we take care of each other during this pandemic. And I hope I never have to say that word again. I don't want to have to talk about a pandemic again in my lifetime, right? Again, nobody's excited that this is happening. We just want to get it over with. So let's do our part and move on, everybody. Have a great weekend. My intent is to be here as much as we can next week. I want to say 5 days, but I don't know what the day is going to look like when I get here. So I'm happy to have been able to do this show today, and I appreciate you watching. If you've been live with us, thank you. If you're catching it on MPW Cable live or at 7:30 and 10:30, let me know. If you ever need anything, hyveetoday@gmail.com. And take care of yourself and wash your hands.
Very, very quiet while hunting wabbits.
We'll do it again tomorrow with more local guests from in and around the Muscatine community.
I'm trying to emote for the play that the alumni are putting on in Wilton this Friday, Saturday.
Questions, comments, know a great guest? Reach out to Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone on Facebook or via email, hyveetoday@gmail.com.